Warren Buffett said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." What's a real-life example of this?
At one point, Ryan Lochte was arguably on the way to becoming as big in the swimming world as Michael Phelps. Then his lies about being robbed at the Olympics torched his reputation and career.
He was also pretty stupid.
Former Brooklyn, Los Angeles Dodgers baseball player and executive Al Campanis. He had a brief career as a player with the Brooklyn Dodgers, playing only 7 games with them in 1943, but spent a lot of time in the minor leagues and played 1 season in the minors with Jackie Robinson the year before Robinson became the first African-American player in the majors. After retiring as a player, he became a scout and moved up in the organization to become the general manager of the Dodgers in 1968. On April 6, 1987, Campanis was invited to appear on the TV show Nightline to be interviewed by Ted Koppel about Jackie Robinson, as April 15 would be the 40th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's first game in the majors, and they were good friends until Robinson's death in 1972. Koppel asked Campanis about why there were so few black managers and no black general managers. Campanis answered, "I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be, let's say, a field manager, or, perhaps, a general manager." When pressed later in the interview by Koppel, he said, "Why are black men or black people not good swimmers? Because they don't have the buoyancy," and also saying that the black race, certainly are short, on individuals with strong decision-making capabilities. He was fired from the Dodgers less than 2 days later and never worked in baseball again, passing away in 1998.
Talk about being short on decision-making capability.
That X Factor judge who told a contestant, wearing a suit, that he was trying to copy her husband LMFAO. I think Natalia Kills was her name.
Kevin Spacey went from acclaimed actor to rapist overnight.
I declare myself gay.
Gerald Ratner. At one time, Ratners were a nationwide chain of jewelry shops in the UK. They were known as an affordable jewelry shop. In 1991, he was a guest at the Institute of Directors and made a speech where he called the stuff sold by his shops total crap. A popular range of earrings was described as being cheaper than a prawn sandwich and compounded it by saying the prawn sandwich would last longer. Shares in the company dropped like a stone and he was fired by the majority company shareholders.
They just rebranded as Signet and are one of the world's largest jewelers. It badly hurt the stock at the time, but it was very temporary.
Had a supervisor who decided to get blitzed on morphine and alcohol before writing a racist, incomprehensible, unprofessional email and sending it to every subordinate. Every single person turned against him, and he was gone from his job really quickly after that. And he was tenured and everything happened in an instant.
I worked at a little startup that started to get big, so we hired a CFO. The night before his first day of work was the holiday party. He came to the party, perved on all the female employees, and was fired before his first day of work. Exciting day.
I was just reading a story about how a police officer with a perfect career ruined everything by buying donuts and scanning a barcode for a carrot to make it cheaper. Lost his job for that.
Real thing apparently. The UK cop paid 7 pence, 9 cents, for a 7.75 pound, $9.50 box of donuts. Stealing donuts is the most stereotypical corrupt cop crime.
There was a PC building company earlier this year that disqualified a prize winner because the company owner thought the winner's social media presence was too weak. Not fake, mind you, just not popular enough to be worth sponsoring.
Artesian builds right.
Shabba ranks. He was genuinely being described as the new Bob Marley. Then he appeared on The Word and stated that the punishment for homosexuality should be crucifixion. You can almost see the exact moment his career ended.
Gary Glitter taking his computer to get fixed at PC World and being outed as a nonce.
I worked in a PC repair shop for a while. Anytime we had a computer with something foul on it, we would just quietly call the police and hand them the PC when they got there. It happened way more times than I ever expected it would. Please don't look in the folder named Child P on my desktop. Ain't worth poo lol. I'm not going to go hunting for it, but if it pops up on your desktop, it's kinda unavoidable.
We had a beloved band instructor at our high school. He worked there for years and everyone thought he was a great guy. He went to a band camp car wash fundraiser and decided to jerk off to the girls washing his car. While he was in it, In the matter of a few moments his life was ruined. Edit. The fact that so many people are saying if it was this or that incident in their hometown is really sad. It looks like this disgusting behavior is way more common than I imagined.
We had a band teacher at my high school that even the non-band kids loved. He got caught f***ing an 18-year-old student by my cousin and was forced to resign. A year or two later my cousin got caught f***ing the new band teacher and now they're married. Edit. My cousin was a student during both instances. The new band teacher got fired and is a registered sex offender because she wasn't of age. They're married now.
Probably an oddball answer from my stupid knowledge of YouTube drama, but Austin Jones. Pretty boy musician type, proper 2010 Justin Bieber cut and everything, whose long-running career racked him up a not unreasonable 1.6 million subscribers, if memory serves. Then videos of him teaching little girls how to twerk got out. Among him doing other things with little girls. You'll be happy to know he's in jail now.
Jesus, I remember this. He came across so creepy in his apology video too.
Nelson Rockefeller was governor of New York before serving as vice president under Gerald Ford. He was found dead at his secret townhome. His wife wasn't there but his girlfriend was. She was 49 years younger than him. Rockefeller's law states, never do anything you wouldn't be caught dead doing.
Haven't seen Lance Armstrong's name yet. Scientists studied his body for years to find the cause of his incredible performance, just to have him openly admit to using steroids.
Lemon called it out for years and everyone said he was just being grumpy. He made the very real point. You can look at the wattage everyone was putting out and there were clear steps in that chart where DG came into the picture.
Jared from Subway.
Started his career with a mild cholesterol problem. Ended his career because he has a child molesterol problem.
Jim Marshall, one of the greatest defensive linemen in NFL football history. To quote Vikings.com, a valued member of Minnesota's Purple People Eaters defensive line, Marshall holds numerous NFL records that include the most seasons played by a defensive player, 20, along with Junior Seau and Darrell Green, most consecutive games by a defensive player, 282, most consecutive starts by a defensive player, 270, and most career fumble recoveries, 30. Marshall, who was still a starter at age 42, helped the Vikings win 3 NFC titles along with the NFL championship in 1969. However, one day, in one game, Jim Marshall had a quick lapse in judgment and now almost every NFL fan remembers Jim Marshall for one mistake he made. He picked up a fumble and ran the wrong way. Now this is the only thing anyone remembers this great NFL player for. Link.
The funniest thing is that the Vikings still won that game.
Joe Paterno went overnight from one of the most respected coaches in all of sports and a hero at Penn State for his fundraising efforts to a known enabler of one of the most infamous pedophiles ever.
James Franco after his P classes came to light.
That Flat Earth documentary where they try so hard the entire time and then in the last 5 minutes they do the measurement with the laser and realize the Earth isn't flat. Edit. I said radar when I meant laser.
It's so clear the documentary crew knows these people are whacked and try their best to restrain editing the documentary like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm until the very end.
Michael Richards, who played Kramer in Seinfeld, ruined his image literally in 5 minutes when he lost his cool and went on a racist rant.
Yeah, he did a very stupid thing, and he won't be getting any acting gigs anytime soon. He will live comfortably off Seinfeld royalties for the rest of his life.
10,000 Instagram pictures and thousands of social media likes and share. Versus one sandwich photo. RIP Fire Festival.
I believe there were some other social media posts at that time that was also bad for Fire Festival's reputation. And there was that one guy who for months in advance was warning people that the Fire Festival was a scam.
The CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch when he said something like, "I want cool people to wear our clothes, not fat people," when asked why they didn't carry any plus-sized clothes for women. The term cancelled wasn't really a thing back in 2013, but man did A&F get cancelled hard after that.
Didn't he also say something like, "I'd prefer to burn clothes rather than donate them to poor people and have poor people ruin our brand"?
John DeLorean admittedly kinda set up by the FBI for a sting, but the better than gold quote.
The PR chick traveling to South Africa who tweeted something like, "Heading to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." Turned her phone off for the flight, and by the time she turned it on when she landed, it had gone viral and, if memory serves, she had already lost her job. Edit. Quite a few people commenting that she must be awful at her job and or she should have known better. 1. In the earlier days of social media, it was reasonably expected that your posts would remain private among your network. This is one of the first cases of a non-celebrity post going viral and being publicly shamed for it. There was no precedent. Bad judgment? Of course, but 2013 and 2022 are very different times. 2. Her ability to craft effective corporate communications is not diminished by the poor judgment mentioned above that she exercised once. Presumably, she was hired by other firms, and perhaps rehired by her old firm, not because of her fame, but because she was actually skilled at what she does. Edit 2. While I haven't seen it, the sheer number of references to the Family Guy seems to indicate that yes, they did parody this situation in an episode. Seems like Seth MacFarlane's brand of humor.
John Ronson wrote about that in So You've Been Publicly Shamed. Highly recommend.
She was like one of the first examples of that happening, right?
Oscar Pistorius, CEO of Robinhood.
Yeah. Fun to see how fast that guy rolled over to show his belly at the slightest pressure from the Wall Street big boys he claimed to be rebelling against.
Pee Wee Herman when he was caught masturbating in a theater at APO. I always thought this was unfair. He wasn't hurting anyone and was at an appropriately placed to do it.
The I have a scream speech. Link.
The anti-work mod that did an interview with Fox News and completely tanked the sub's momentum almost overnight.
God, that was so unbelievably bad. But it was also exactly what I expected from AFing Reddit mod. Yes, it's kinda a lot sus.
That lady that got accepted to the NASA internship wrote an explicit tweet about it, and when someone told her to watch her language, she told them to STFU. He was ahead or something at NASA. She did not have that internship for long.
If I remember the story right, she apologized to him profusely, he understood, and ended up fighting to get her that internship back, and I think she did.
Game of Thrones Season 8.
I saw a meme once. LOTR, ended 20 years ago and is beloved. Harry Potter, ended 10 years ago and is beloved. Got less than a year old and nobody will watch it again. That's how bad DF'd that franchise.
The most popular girl at my school farted in the bathroom. So loud, it lasted as a discussion topic for weeks.
Where TF else was she supposed to fart then?
My grandpa. For 23 years of my life, I thought he was the most honest and upstanding person I had the honor of knowing. Then last year, I found out he's always had a habit of manipulating his dying family members' friends' wills into leaving him and his wife the good, expensive stuff, houses, cars, etc. It's how he's avoided bankruptcy for so damn long. Selling off these stolen houses to pay for his own. He stole a house out from his own stepdaughter after her son had been in a near-fatal accident, and she herself had just survived a suicide attempt. So yeah, turns out the best man I know is one of the worst. And what's better? He passed on his house-stealing skills to his CVNT daughter, my aunt. So the cycle continues. Ugh, sorry for the rant.
O.J. Simpson, great sports star, was in a few movies, including one of the greatest comedies of all time, Naked Gun. An all-round good guy. Kind of the Dwayne Johnson of his day, except he was in actual real sports. Then he ruined it all by starring in 1994's Frogman. That movie sucked.
Greater than then he ruined it all by starring in 1994's Frogman. Should have gone to prison for it.
Rudy G could have retired as America's mayor, instead his obituary will have a picture of his makeup dripping during a press conference at a landscape parking lot.
Next to a sex shop. You forgot that part, lol.
Bill Cosby. He was America's dad for 50 years until a random Hannibal Buress cell phone bootleg went viral and women started speaking out in droves.
Will Smith.
So true. He had worked for decades to finally be taken seriously as an actor, was about to get his first Oscar, deservedly so, and all of it ruined because he couldn't keep his temper in check.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.